other, speak to each other, know each other. They knew the names of each other. There is a whole work of actually 6 volumes, or 6 parts, 6 volumes printed out in 3 parts, 2 volumes in each book, called The Emancipation of Women at the Time of Prophethood. The emancipation of women at the time of prophethood proves by quoting from Al-Bukhari and Muslim, who are the most authentic sources after the Quran in the Muslim tradition, that women at the time of the Prophet, they used to meet each other, they used to meet men. Actually, how would you think that women would go to the battlefield to do a type of nursing to the men who were wounded and heal? If they have a broken arm, they would work on that. Remote control? They wouldn't do that by remote control or by mobile phone or a Wi-Fi treatment. It wouldn't be a Wi-Fi treatment, it would be a physical actual treatment. What is required in the Muslim tradition, or what is genuine in the Muslim tradition, is as long as there is mutual respect and there is seriousness of purpose, go ahead and deal with people. I always say to the mosques, to the congregations in mosques where I go, if you have a moral problem in between your young people and you want to stop and combat that problem, the way out is not to segregate them. The way out to deal with the problem. It is just like someone who's got an abscess and he wants to not to treat the abscess. So what he does, he gets a piece of cloth and wraps his abscess and keeps it like this. And everyone's telling him, you've got an abscess. No problem, it's covered. No one will see it. Well, that is not the solution. The solution is to use ointment, to go to the doctor, to get some medicine for it, and then to clean it. So the Quran gives us steps on how to clean ourselves. It says, when you meet someone, you should lower your gaze. Lower your gaze does not mean you're looking like this and in your heart you're gazing. Because some people do that. I call it religious schizophrenia. Seriously. Because you've got sisters, for instance, some sisters who were very practicing sisters. When she meets a practicing brother, like Nabi, and when she goes out to the market, she's joking with the man in the market. And probably the man in the market or anyone else wouldn't be as moral as the person whom she's dealing with, as that brother. This is religious schizophrenia. In all my classes, and I've got a few of my students here, they know that I have always refused from day one in my mosque to put any segregation between males and females. If any of you comes to visit our mosque at any time of the week, we have fiqh classes mixed. Males and females are sitting in the same circle. We have Friday classes mixed. Males and females sitting in the same classes. If people want to do something dodgy, they wouldn't do it inside a mosque. They'll do it outside. And bear in mind that in this society, people don't need to be prevented because they have got loads of venues to do whatever they want. What we need to do is to strengthen this feeling of righteousness and watchfulness and seriousness above all. In Muslim tradition, we are not dealing, and excuse my language, we are not dealing with a woman as a piece of sex. We're dealing with women as a human being, a dignified human being. Because a woman is my mother, is my sister, is my daughter, and is my wife. And as much as I have zeal to protect my wife, I'll have zeal to protect the wife of somebody else. And let me tell you a very funny story about in the Muslim spirituality, we have this inheritance of understanding that if you do something bad, it will be paid back right away. They say that there was a judge who used to judge in a court, and a woman came to him. A woman came to him to complain about her husband, and she was so beautiful that he kind of felt a bit of inclination towards her. So the woman wanted to speak to him, and she delivered some papers. He held her hand with lust. And then he remembered God, so he left her. He released her right away. When he went home, his wife said to him, something very strange happened today. That's the wife of the judge. He said, what happened? She said, you know what? This man who sells water, back in the days when they didn't have access to water, people used to have water in big buckets, and they would carry it and go to each home, one by one, and they would be paid monthly for the water. They are called in Egypt a saqqa, the person who provides water. So she said, that man whom we're accustomed to, we've known him for 20 years, he's been providing water for the past 20 years for us. He came to provide the water. I opened the door for him and I led him inside the house to put the bucket somewhere. And while I was giving him the money, he held my hand for a minute and then he released it. And it seemed that he had lost in doing that. And then the judge remembered. This is what I've done to that woman. And he said, this is for that. And if I were to do something else, that man would have done something else. We bring our children and our young people not on hating the members of opposite sex, because that is not the case, but to respect them. People do not know that we have Muslim scholars, female Muslim scholars, whom you would sit under and learn from. In Egypt, till this day and age, we've got female teachers of the Quran who've got unbroken chains to the Prophet. And we would be proud to have them in our chain. If men and women can mix in a chain that is linked back to the Prophet, it means that chain and that mixing is blessed. It means it's a holy mixing. But unholy mixing should not happen in this area. So Muslims are allowed to mix with each other as long as they are serious and they respect each other and they keep their integrity. And anything else, they focus on their inside to purify it. Because God has said that as much as men are supposed to lower their gaze and protect and preserve their integrity, women are supposed to do the same thing as well. And how should Muslims interact with the people of other beliefs?